Hey y'all, welcome back. I got a mic, handy dandy mic. So let me know in the comments how this mic is working out and if it is sounding clear. But will probably be my last video having to do with Run Disney. A couple videos ago, I told people to ask questions if they had any, and so people did ask questions. So I wrote those questions down and I have those answers. Pretty much is like things you should know about Run Disney or questions, as far as getting ready, getting prepped, but I'm going to jump right in it. So one of the questions was, why did I decide to do this run after 4 years of not running, doing any 5K or anything like that? So even when, I was, bigger, I always wanted to do a Run Disney, but I never had the confidence to do so. So after I got my bariatric surgery, I decided that, okay, after that first year, I'm going to do a Run Disney. That never happened. I got fearful, intimidated. So when my husband was like, okay, I'm ready to do one, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And so I had in my mind that I was going to train, I was going to be prepared, I was going to start the run. I had this whole plan out. None of that happened. I did not train. I did not prepare myself. I didn't do any of that for the 5K. So as we got closer to the date, I was like really stressing out because I had not done anything. But when I got there and just the atmosphere, especially during the 5K, seeing the families together, friends together, like all of that, it just really calmed me down. And I realized it's fun. Run Disney is not, it's competitive, but it's not like any of those other competitive runs where people really take it serious in their training. And no, don't get me wrong, people are training, but like as I was going through and walking past people were like, oh, like one lady, she was like, how about hashtag I didn't train, hashtag I'm not ready, but hashtag I'm about to have fun. That's what she said as we were walking, to the start line. So I just took it all in and I said, I'm just going to do the best that I can do. And the biggest thing is just crossing that finish line. And so that's what I had in my mind. I stayed my own pace and I just kept prepping myself as far as in my mind, you can do this, and encouraging myself. And I made it. So I just decided to do it after 4 years because I was like, this is crazy. I've been fearful about it. Just do it. And my husband was doing it. So he did the half a marathon. So I just was like, okay, Gary's doing it. I'm going to do it. I'll do the 5K. He do the half. Let's go. So another question was, how long does it usually take to complete the course for the 5K? So it just depends on the person. Some people can finish 3.2 miles in less than an hour. Some people finish more than an hour. It just depends on your pace and how you decide, how fast or how slow you're going to walk. You might jog a little bit, walk, jog, walk. Also, you're taking pictures with characters, so that can extend your time. But for the 5K, they don't keep track of time. Pretty much you have until they start the start line. You start at the start line and they start the race. I should say that usually starts about 5. So you have until 5 until the park opens. So we were at Epcot, and I believe Epcot opens up on some days at 9. So you have literally 4 hours to 3.5, 4 hours to get that done, which definitely you can do. Now the 10K and the half a marathon and things like that, they are timed. And I want to say they give them 4 hours, and then after that is done, because again, the parks have to be opened. And so they want to make sure everybody is through the parks and out the way by that time. So, and Gary didn't get caught by the balloon ladies, which is the scary thing that everybody gets upset about. Balloon ladies. And if you want me to explain what the balloon ladies are, I can do that in another video. But that's the fear, the balloon ladies, So as long as you don't get caught by the balloon ladies, you're fine. Another question was process. How did I prepare mentally for the marathon. That was the problem. I didn't prepare mentally. I didn't take it seriously until literally I was on the airplane after 2 delays at BWI. Then I was like, oh snap, this is real. I'm really about to be in a 5K at Disney with all these people. And oh my gosh, these people are going to be running. I'm going to be the only one walking. That was a lie. Even for the 10K, even for the half marathon, people were walking. People walk those things. They just like brisk walk those things, but they walk it. They're not running the entire time. So I just kept encouraging myself, motivating myself. That's how I prepared. But in my mind, when I signed up, like 9 months before, in my mind, I thought I was going to, get on a strict meal plan or just get on a meal plan, start slow by walking every day, at least a mile, and gradually building up, taking the Peloton run classes. Like, this was all in my mind to prepare myself. That didn't happen. But just motivating yourself to just get through the race. That's the best preparation you can do. The biggest fear was not making it to the finish line. So the question is, the biggest fear when running a marathon, not making it to the finish line. That is the biggest fear. That was my biggest fear. I think that's everybody's biggest fear. But as long as you are listening to your body, pacing yourself, keeping track of what's going on, I think you're fine. As far as for making it to the finish line. But that was my biggest fear, making it to the finish line, making it. How do you get in the corrals? So that was one of the questions. So the corrals is the groups that you're in, and they let each group go. So it's A, B, C. So mine's went up to A, B, C. And 10K, I'm not too sure what theirs went up to because I didn't have anybody or know anybody that was running in the 10K. But the half a marathon, they went up to, I believe Gary said they went up to either D or E. And so it's based upon, for the 10 and the half a marathon, is based upon your running skills and your numbers. So you have to submit numbers of any official marathons you've done before, and they have certain criteria of what they consider as being official. You submit those, and if it comes into certain levels or you're a little bit slower than majority, then you end up being in like C. So A is like the fast, you're doing it frequently, like you can get through this thing within an hour and a half, like that would be A and B area. Now if you have never done a marathon and don't have any numbers, they're going to put you in the bottom of the barrel, pretty much. Sorry. You're going to be C, D, or wherever the lowest is going to be. So Gary was in C, and his crew, shout out to the crew. I love those ladies. They are amazing. Shout out to them. And they made it as far as they all were in C. So they were all together. And what was so funny was that they were in C, and they kind of held, it was like 6 of them, they kind of held strong that line. So when they went, pew, go, they were coming across, and I could just see them right in the front. Whereas me, I was in group C, but in the 5K, I was all mingled. I wasn't on the front of the start line, but they were. So that was really amazing because it made it easier for me to capture them as they were running across the finish line. But I was, hey, as long as I'm not the last of the last, I'm fine with that. I was fine with being in C, as long as I wasn't the last of the last. And when you are in those corrals, it's not like, it's like a pen. And I hate to say that, it reminds me of like a pig pen, but it's like a pen, or a pen that you keep, animals in. I don't know why it seems like that, but that's how it is. And you kind of just roam in the area, and it's fenced up, and you're next to the next group, but it's all gated up so you can stay within your corral. And so when that happens, everybody, I started seeing everybody move to the front. And I'm like, why everybody move to the front? So because everybody was moving to the front, I started moving to the front myself, because I was like, okay. And I realized because your corral group is so big that they have multiple sections within your corral group. So it'll be corral C1, C3, C2, and you're not assigned to like those sections within that group. It's just as far as they only allowed a certain amount of people to go off. So it's not like a whole bunch of people at one time. But yeah, so I just kept moving kind of to the front, so I was not in the all the way the back of the seats. But yeah, and I think that's the same thing that Gary did. He kind of, him and his group, they kind of just kind of moved up closer to their, the front of the gate. So when they opened the gate, and it's like crazy because when they open the gate, everybody's like on top of you trying to squeeze out. And you're like, sorry. Some people don't even say excuse me, but I have manners because my family raised me with manners. I was saying excuse me, even though I was repeating myself multiple times. I just didn't want any problems with me bumping into somebody and then they have an attitude, because I'm from Baltimore. But the people there in Florida were very nice. They didn't care. You could bump into them and not say anything and they were fine. So that is how you get in those groups. Is it expensive in Heart? Yes, Disney is expensive for running a race with them. The virtual is cheaper, but the regular ones you're looking definitely over $100 per person. And is it hard to get into Run Disney? Yes, it is, because they you can join the club, and then at that point, certain levels. So you have like silver and stuff. You have different tiers within the Run Disney Club, and even then, they don't. Sometimes those levels within the Run Club, they don't even give you preference of getting it. So yeah, it can be hard, because if it's one of the popular ones, then you might have to wait until general opening of that, but by that time it could be sold out. So you need to know somebody to get up in there, and if you know somebody to get up you in there, definitely use them and say thank you, because yeah, you're gonna need to know somebody. Then the next question was about being a spectator, which I was with Gary and the crew. So I was a spectator, and I would say that being a spectator, yes, oh my God, it's so early in the morning that you have to get up. Like, you're on the bus by 3 a.m. And that's for every race, whether it's 5K, whether it's 10K, or the half a marathon or a marathon. You're up early, 3 o'clock, okay? And they have those buses lined up at the resorts. And when I say lined up, okay? At least 10 buses at a time that are already lined up waiting. And so sometimes that can be like, being a spectator, like, oh, do I really want to go out here? And the time that we went, it was very cold, so we just went. Yeah, it's cold. Florida gets cold, so it's so cold. And so I had my warmers and things like that. And, most people are like, I'm not going out there, or I'm going to stay back with the kids or whatever. But it was children that were out there as well, with, cheering their parent on, or their parents, or whatever it was. But it is, I would say, and especially Gary can probably comment somewhere in the message, down below, that 5K is not as fun being a spectator and supporting, because you're not going really too many places. Whereas when you are doing the 10K and the half a marathon, it's fun, because who can say, especially if you're not staying at one of the resorts, or you're not parking your car, or if you've never been on the monorail, you get to ride the monorail. You get to go into Magic Kingdom, before it is even open, and you see it dark with the lights, and you're on Main Street. Like, the whole ambiance is really, really nice. You take the monorail back again, and when you take the monorail back, you get to, go past the highway. It's empty. See the runners on the highway. You get back in Epcot, and so you don't get all range of Magic Kingdom, but you get some of that. So it's nice to be able to go in there without the crowd and stuff, and kind of take some pictures, and it's beautiful with the lights and stuff. So for me, I enjoyed it. But again, you have to keep track of your runner, because if your runner is pretty fast, or they decide, Gary, they want to ball out and get stuff done, yeah, you're gonna be behind them, which means that they might have been at Magic Kingdom before you've gotten over there, and things like that. So with that being said, I would do it again. I enjoyed it. I liked it. What I do know is that I do need to have more layers. That's the first thing. Second, if you have like those little foldy chair things that you can carry, bring those. There has some snacks, which I did have snacks because especially for, you know, a 10K and a half a marathon, that's like 13 point something miles, you know. So you want to make sure you eat. I mean, you can buy the food in Magic Kingdom. They have, even at the main location where where the finish line is, they have food trucks. But if you have the food, bring it. They're not like checking your bags like that, you know. And if you have snacks, they're not making a big deal about it either. So, yeah, they have a lot of porta potties, lots and lots of porta. I've never seen so many because when I go to the wine festival, guess what? They don't even have that many. So, yeah, it's lots and lots. So they do accommodate for that. But yes, I would definitely be a Run Disney supporter, as far as going there and things like that. And I actually thought about maybe if I do it next year, I'll do the 5K and the 10K, and then the half a marathon, I might volunteer, or maybe as a volunteer for the Run Disney and do something like that. Because if you know me, you know I love I said customer service, but I do love customer service. But I do love giving back and volunteering for things. So yeah, overall, those were the main questions that were asked. If you do have any other questions, definitely comment below and I'll be happy to answer them. But I would say definitely don't worry about your size. Don't worry about if you can run. Do it. Just do it. Even if it's your little local one in your neighborhood for breast cancer. I mean, they have a walk for almost everything. Like I just saw a virtual walk for Peeps with my Peeps. You know the candy Peeps? They have a whole walk for that. And if you do the virtual walk, then the proceeds go to Feeding America, which is an organization that feeds homeless people or people who are less fortunate. So those were the questions. I just wanted to get back with you guys on that. Hopefully this isn't too long and hopefully you were able to stick through. And thank you so much. If you did not like or subscribe, please do that now. And I look forward to bringing some more videos out. And definitely, again, like I said, I'm done the series here of Run Disney and we'll be moving on to some other things. Thank you again. Have a good one. Bye.